Landscape Center, and today I'm going to show you how to properly plant a tree. The first thing you want to do before planting a tree, building a wall, or digging of any other kind is get your utilities located. You can do this by calling Missouri One Call or 1-800-DIG-RITE, because the last thing you want to do is cause yourself serious injury and/or costly repairs. The next step is to make sure you have the right tools for the job. For a tree plant, you're going to need a leaf rake, a hard rake, and of course, a good sturdy digging shovel. A few other pieces of equipment that will be helpful: a flat nose shovel, a good claw to scratch those roots, some pruners, and of course, a good pair of gloves. Finally, when you're ready to stake the tree, you're also going to need some T-posts to stake the tree with, your wire cutters, and a couple hose pieces to protect that tree from the wire. And if you have a good stake driver, it's helpful, but if you just need a sledgehammer, that is also as well useful. Finally, while planting the tree, you're going to need a few products that we recommend here at Full Features. Cotton boll compost will help break down the clay soils and make them more useful to the tree. We also recommend Mike Tree and Shrub Transplanter. And finally, root stimulator to mix with your water when watering that tree in at the end of the day. Now that we're ready to plant our tree, we want to make sure that the hole you're digging is the right size for the tree you're planting. You should always make sure that the diameter of the hole you're digging is a good 6 inches larger than the diameter of the root ball of the tree that you're planting. You also want to dig the hole slightly deeper than the height of the root ball, ensuring that you have plenty of broken up soil to plant back around the tree when you put it in the ground. One helpful tip I have before you start planting your tree is to remove the sod first. I'll do this by using my flat nose shovel, and I'll cut a line right around where the paint is. Then you simply strip under the sod, just like carpet, and raise it off. Once you've finished removing this sod, you can either throw it away. I don't usually put it back around the tree. Or, if you have any bare spots in the yard, you've got good sod to use. Now that we're ready to start digging, one helpful tip is to start digging from the center and work your way out. This will make sure that your hole stays the same diameter all the way around. Now that you're ready to put the tree in the ground, you want to make sure that the top of the root ball is level with the top of the soil that you're digging in. When planting on a hill, you'll notice that we still need the higher part of the ground level with the top of the root ball, and you build up the excess soil around the lower side. The next step is to scratch up the roots of the root ball. You'll notice once you take the root ball out of the pot, those roots are extremely root bound. By using a claw, or just your fingers if necessary, you can really get a hold of those roots. Don't be afraid to really scratch them up hard. You're not going to hurt the tree. This is actually very healthy for the tree in order to help those roots grow into the new soil. Now be careful when putting your shovel in the ground after digging, because if you do hit that before you put the dirt back around your tree, there's a few things you need to keep in mind. Number one, get that tree turned to where the nicest side is facing the side that you're going to be seeing most often. You certainly don't want to get your tree planted and then all you see is the flat side. Secondly, let's get our mic on. The best way to do this is just grab a little bit, pack it on the roots. Once you've done that, take the cotton boll compost and we're going to mix it with the soil going back around the tree. You want a good mix ratio with the clay soil that you've already dug out. I find the easiest way to do this is to simply pour it in with the soil you've already dug out and allow it to mix itself as you put it back around the tree. Once you've got the bulk of the soil cleaned up with your shovel, that's where your rakes come in handy. It's a lot easier to clean up that sod with both your hard rake and leaf rake. Once you've got the soil raked back up around the tree, you want to remake sure that the soil level is right. Dig back down around that trunk and create what we call the bird's nest around the tree. The base of the trunk, or the crown of the root, should be visible once you've done this. You do not want water to be able to sit on the base of the tree and drown the tree. This will help ensure that the tree gets the proper watering that it needs. The next step is to make sure your tree stays where you planted it. You don't want the wind blowing it over. So we put stakes in the ground to help hold it in place. Once you've got those stakes in the ground, you're going to use your wire and hose piece to hold it to the tree and protect it. Simply slide the hose piece over the wire about halfway through the piece of wire. Wrap that hose piece around the tree, pull both sides of the wire, and wrap them around the stake. Now you want to stand back at this point to make sure that your tree is straight as best possible. It's best to look at the tree against a building or another tree that's already been growing for a while to make sure that it's straight up. Finally, once you've got that wire fairly tight, use the end of your pliers and or a screwdriver, stick them between the lines, and simply start twisting. That's going to tighten that wire just that much more, making sure your tree stays right where you wanted it. Next, we're going to apply mulch to the base of the tree, covering all the soil we put back around the tree. This does a couple of things. It keeps the moisture in the heat of the summer, and it keeps the frost out in the cold winter. It never hurts to remulch your trees a couple times a year. You do want to take care when mulching to make sure that you recreate that bird's nest. You don't want the mulch covering the base of the tree any more than the soil does. Finally, let's give our tree a drink. I've already pre-mixed the root stimulator with our water in the proper ratio, so let's water it in. Whether you're looking for small flowering trees or large shade trees, Full Features has what you need. And if you need more help in learning how to plant your tree, just come on by. Our friendly staff is more than happy to help.